Welcome, Jarrell.
Hey, Jeff, good to see you.
The general sentiment of the community right now is fairly frustrated. There is a general sentiment of distrust with you, especially when it comes to talking about, and this is going to be harsh, but I'm just going to say it. Dealing with the passing of friends.
On August 3rd at 8:15, I held Buzz in my hands as he took his final breath.
The we'll just say often referencing, whether it be cancer.
There's a friend of mine now that probably has only until the end of the year, most likely less. He's also dealing with cancer.
Or whatever miscellaneous event.
I promised Scotty that I would come back and spend time with him. I said, hang in there, I'll come back as soon as I can, I'll spend time with you. That was back in 2023. So last year I learned that Scotty lit a cigarette next to his oxygen tank and he burned himself to death.
Where the passing of someone, and people will see that, and if it's a one-time thing, they might be like, all right, cool, I get it.
About 7 years ago, I lost someone very important to me in a brutal and unfair way. There was health issues and cancer.
Dying hurts.
Tell me about it. So anyway,
I understand we're all human, but there have been videos showing you saying this about multiple different people throughout the years in videos.
But I'm sitting with my friend dying of cancer, and this is the first time in my life where I've seen the fear in someone's eyes. How do I bring him a sense of calm? How do I bring him reassurance and a sense of comfort? And I wanted to tell you guys a couple weeks ago, but it's too difficult. It's very difficult to talk about this stuff. It sucks. So that is why my Nintendo Switch videos have not been negative.
Almost as a way to emotionally manipulate them. What would you say to that?
I'm personally hurt that people would think that. And I don't think I've ever felt personally hurt on YouTube before, but that is something. Oh shit! Sorry. I discuss these topics because I read the comments and there are.
But my brother, I've hurt my brother. Onion!
Onion! I just saw it!
The glass is headlong since run dry. I've been chasing stories.
And I am personally hurt that people say that I'm using that to manipulate, because I create those videos to support other people and to help them, because I want to show people that when someone dies like that, you don't have to let it make you worse.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
for slop content you can get online, go to Fritenga and save some time. How's everybody doing? Why am I riding a lawnmower? Long story. All you need to know is, well, tune into the streams and you'll find out more. As we speak, I'm kind of under disguise right now, so if you guys can keep it quiet so Ice doesn't find me. And no, I will not be mowing your lawn. Don't even bother to ask. But for now, you call me under the alias Frittata, and that's thanks to Sungrand Studios, who gave me an excellent disguise. That's right, I thought we would finally close the chapter on Sungrand Studios, who's easily the most delusional Nintendo fanboy I've ever come across. But the story just gets too good. You see, Sungrand will talk to just about anyone, from harmful opinions to Hypnotic to Smash JT, but he won't talk to me, because I'm the one who, well, put the magnifying glass over him first, and now people are realizing Frit is a good source for lolcows. Let's not give him credit. Well, too bad, this is my lolcow. I found him first. And in spite of finding him first, the guy went over to Smash JT's channel for an interview, and you have no idea how batshit crazy that interview went. It's over an hour long, so obviously I can't just pause and play every little section of it. So I'll be cutting it up in 2 halves for you. Make it easier to digest, because I know some of you have an attention span problem. Nonetheless, I'm sure you're excited to get another lore drop on Sungrand Studios. And indeed, we get quite the lore drop. Credit where credit is due. Smash JT did an excellent job hammering him on some of the questions. Now, I understand Smash JT's audience doesn't like me because, they don't like my voice. Understandable. But never forget, you wouldn't have known this if it wasn't for me. So, of course, I'm the most invested in this character. And I say character because he is quite indeed that, a character. Because calling him human seems a little too far-fetched. And this interview was a golden opportunity. You see, Smash interviewed Sungrand, giving him the chance to either crash and burn or properly defend himself. As you can imagine, he went with the former, because Sungrand has this problem where he just continuously repeats himself. So realistically, we only have about 20 minutes of new content in this interview. For that reason alone, I'll just say Smash is a far more kind, understanding, and patient human being than I ever could be. 10 minutes into this and I may have committed a felony. I don't have patience for nonsense. But Smash gave the guy a platform, he gave him a chance, and Sungrand failed miserably, so that's why I'm here. I was on my way to give him a congratulatory lawn mowing, but instead I'm here to deliver an L. Because Jarrell here reveals to us just how dishonest of a person he is and how much he struggles with compulsive lying. I really think the guy needs help. All right, without keeping you waiting any longer, let's begin. At the 1 minute 30 second mark, Sungrand goes on to explain to us what his master plan has been all along that we have already heard a bajillion times.
I don't want to sound like a stalker, but I've been watching you longer than you've been watching me.
You've seen my speech videos. You know my absolute priority is to fight for gamers. I want to make sure that voices are heard, that the industry stops treating gamers like they don't matter, like the industry can do whatever it wants, like it can insult gamers. And one thing that I'm very careful that I don't say anything that will lock me out of being able to make a situation better. So I never speak names especially, but I will now, since I'm going to be fully transparent with everyone here. But seeing people like Kim Belair and other people, these are the only people that are speaking in the industry. These are the only people present in the industry guiding these companies, and it is frustrating watching them drive the industry into the ground and to view gamers like, oh, these are idiots, we could do whatever we want. And so over the past few months, I've been plotting out a map on how I can take a role in the industry where I can also present, I can also speak, so that Kim Belair and other people who have intentions of terrorizing developers and threatening them, if you don't force diversity in, this bad thing will happen to you. I do not feel that is the right approach for anything. And so my long-term goal has been to position myself to where I can take speeches and do presentations in the industry so that developers and publishers have another voice to listen to. So it's not just Kim Belair.
One begins to wonder exactly how small Sungrand Studios' world is, where he thinks people like Kim Belair are the only ones guiding the industry. Last I checked, Kim Belair had nothing to do with the Oblivion remaster, nothing to do with Expedition 33, nothing to do with Baldur's Gate 3, nothing to do with Elden Ring, nothing to do with Astrobot, nothing to do with Schedule 1. It's almost as if, Kim Belair is only speaking to other devs that think just like her, and they are not a representation of the entire gaming industry. It's like Sungrand Studios' only knowledge of the gaming industry is based off the content he watches. I mean, he's right in the sense that folks like her get too much of a voice in the industry, but to say people like her are the only ones, it's not even true. Not even close to being true. He only brings her name up and people like her because they're easy to rile against. If you put Sungrand Studios and Kim Belair in the same room, people are gonna choose Sungrand Studios over her. And that's the only reason he mentions her. He knows people don't like her, and he knows it's easy to speak out against her. Anyone can do it, even a schizophrenic like him. Let's also talk about the way he acts like this is all for a greater cause. The way he says he wants to fight for gamers, like nobody asked you to do that. Not a single one of us said, Sungrand, please, only you can stop this. Only you can be our voice. Only you can guide us through these dark DEI times. And again, this is why I blame Asmongold. Like, Asmongold has a bad habit of making very untalented, very stupid, and dishonest people popular. Like he did with Andy Pants. He did with Sungrand. Sungrand now thinks he is him. So thanks, Asmongold. Thanks a lot for that. Thanks for giving a schizophrenic such a powerful voice, huh? Now look at him. He thinks the industry's fate rests on his shoulders. You need to fix this. Because much like with Grums, Asmongold picks the completely wrong allies. Almost all the people he shouts out have a history of being awful game developers who scam people and create terrible products. And then these people go on to act like they are a voice for gamers when nobody should think that. Not one single person out there speaks for all of us. Especially when it's dudes like this that make shovelware for the 3DS in their mom's basement. I'm sorry, but when your games look like the ones Jarrell makes or the ones Grums makes, I don't think you're saving the industry, and I don't really think you have that much wisdom to shed. And I especially don't think you should fight for us.
I haven't been able to get any websites or any YouTubers to play and talk about the game, or to much less review it. We got a review from a brilliant writer at Destructoid, CJ, and I expected piracy is going to happen, but I didn't expect 3DS users to be so ungrateful to not realize there's a developer who really genuinely cares about people that want to use the 3DS and keep playing 3DS games.
I mean, just listen to that. Does that sound like the type of guy that should be leading the charge in anything? He can't even accept that his own games aren't good enough, and he's overpricing them. And yet the dude believes that he should be the voice for gamers and the industry. He believes he should be in those meeting rooms. He believes he should be giving lectures. The entitlement to be the people's chosen one here is astonishing. It really is. Has anybody ever set this guy aside and told him, listen, bro, I know what you want to be, but you ain't good enough? Is that a talk any person that loves him has ever given him? And then at the 3-minute mark, Jarrell goes on to give away why he's been acting like a nut job.
Unfortunately, because of the videos that I have been doing here on YouTube, it is very clear that I have a bias. If you look up my name, if you look up Sungrand on the internet, it's clear I have a bias for a particular side
of the conversation. And so the reason why I have taken the actions this month, which was basically I was purposefully making people angry at me. I was trying to get people to make angry content online so that when I put in a bid to do a speech, if they look online, they'll see, oh, wait, okay, so it's not just one side. This person isn't biased. It's people from all sides that are critical of this guy. If I didn't do what I did this month, then if I put in a bid to do a speech, I say, hey, I'd like to speak at your university. I'd like to speak at your event. They would look online. They would see, oh, well, Jarrell is sided with these people. These people are cheering for Jarrell, and he's only receiving criticism from one side of the conversation. He must be biased. He's not trustworthy. So that is why I have taken...
I hope you follow my logic here.
Does that make sense?
I'm trying.
I already watched this live. Oh, but still, just knowing such a crazy person exists is both terrifying and hilarious. Delusions of Sun Grandeur Studios, more like, right? The guy really thought he could position himself in the industry to be a powerful voice, but let me tell you something. Kim Belair ain't a powerful voice. If you wanted to speak out against her, you could just do that on your YouTube channel and get more views and publicity than she does. Not only that, but your biggest mistake was using Kim Belair as the measuring stick. We're talking about a very low entry position. You desiring the platform she has is no good. You should strive for better, but instead you're striving to have what she has? To be a part of that group? Why? If you really want to combat people like Kim Belair, you make good games. That's what you do, but you're not capable of doing that. You pose as a professional game dev. And people actually bought into your bullshit for a while, which really surprised me.
I'm tripping up a little bit because...
Yeah, let me know what doesn't make sense to you.
No, that did not occur to us, Mr. Lebowski. That did not occur to us, dude. Smash looks more lost than Rar nor Zoro. Nobody understands your logic here. Not even Jarrell seems to understand his own logic. So you were trying to pose as a centrist now? Is that what you were doing? You were pretending to not be biased? And in order to do that, you were going to turn the crowd supporting you against you? so that you could appeal to the other crowd that you're against in the hopes that they would let you in, Trojan horse style, and then they would finally listen to the intellectual powerhouse known as Sungrand Studios with his Game of the Year candidates. Yeah, no, you're out of your mind. That is incredibly dishonest. You have flat out admitted that you were abusing the trust of your viewers and supporters right there. I don't even know why you would say that. Acceptance from your opposition is the worst possible move you could ever make. Caring what they think of you is a mistake. Sacrificing your audience for the opportunity to speak in the industry, that's betrayal at its finest. But let's just say your plan actually worked and you finally got in and they don't even give you more than 10 minutes before they kick you off the stage and you're back out on the streets. What then? You have no one to go back to. Your audience is gonna be like, why don't you go hang out with those wokies that you love so much? What you're basically admitting to everyone here is,
I came up with a really great idea, dude. Yeah? I'm gonna play both sides. Why would you tell me that? Should I not have? Probably shouldn't, because if you're trying to keep a secret from me, well, now I know. Should I tell them? No, I don't think you should tell either side, because if you're trying to play both sides and they both know, you're not playing anybody. What should I do now? I don't give a shit.
Self-admitting to such a thing will completely burn that bridge between you and your audience. There is no going back after this. But let's skip some of this because Sungrand is very repetitive. But it gets even crazier because then at the 13-minute, 21-second mark, Sungrand reveals even more about his intentions, and they'll leave you with your jaw on the floor.
Obviously, I don't want to force people to unsubscribe, but I had to have a cover. And I'm revealing the cover now, so I'm sabotaging things a little bit, well, actually a lot, because I can't just say what my plan is, and I can't just say, I need people to attack me from all sides so it looks even and fair. If I say that, that ruins my whole goal. I hope you understand.
Yeah, dude, that's a good point. So by you coming on right now and saying all this, doesn't this kind of defeat the whole purpose of whatever approach you were doing then?
The reason I'm telling you all this is because I'm playing both sides so that I always come out on top.
This might come off as harsh, but I'm just going to say it anyways. But blaming your audience for your own transgressions, for your own direction.
People were sending me messages, and I could tell people could see that I was second guessing myself in a number of my statements and videos because the things I said were not the things that I feel. I obviously don't want to blame other people, but my whole objective was to make people angry and attack me. And what I was actively doing and chose to do was to trade the respect that people had for me, the goodwill that they had for me. I was trading that for better positioning in the industry.
You guys, you don't understand. You hate me now, but you don't get it. I'm doing this for you. I'm turning my back on gamers and dick riding Nintendo and defending them, and then calling you all children and immature because it's for your own good, motherfucker. That mentality right there. Sungrand thinks he's better than all of you. He thinks you guys are too stupid to see his genius master plan, and that you're all too stubborn to even know. You don't get it. Talking trash to his own audience, it was all for their own good. This is gonna pay off, he promises. Once he pisses you all off, he'll be in the industry and then he'll be able to actually change it from within, single-handedly. Put your faith in Sungrand. This savior complex is insane. See, you don't understand. He loves you guys so much, and he wants to fight for all of you so much, he's willing to throw you under the bus to make sure it happens. So he has a place in the industry. Just listen to that. There is no coming back from a statement like that. It's over. You may as well wrap it up and start a new channel. Why would you say such a thing? Why would you admit to thousands of people who believed in you that you were sacrificing your relationship with them for a place in the industry? That is corruption. What makes it worse is it's coming out of the mouth of a game developer. And it's even worse for you because over there on Harmful Opinions channel, and by the way, get that man to 40K today, Harmful Opinions revealed some private DMs between the two of you. Now, personally, I think airing DMs like that is a line I wouldn't cross, but given the context here, I understand why Harmful Opinions did it. Because Jarrell's saying this. He's saying he wanted to fight for the gamers. So he was gonna throw them under the bus so that the industry would accept them and take them serious. But in his DMs shared with Harmful Opinions, he tells him that it was all actually secretly to protect marginalized people in the industry because they were being attacked unfairly, which means that when he was calling out DEI and ESG and all of that crap, he was faking it. He was leading you all on from the beginning. He was doing it for views. That's the only reason he made those videos on Concord or Assassin's Creed. He was appealing to that crowd for views. In spite of the fact that throughout this entire stream, the man says he's not a YouTuber like a total of 50 fucking times. Even though he has previous videos where he has subscriber goals, where he always talks about the future of the channel, where he has 800 plus videos, where he uploads daily. He's not a YouTuber. But the truth is, you very much are in fact a YouTuber, and that's what led you to making these videos, for attention, for clicks. When this entire time, you were what? You were criticizing. You were an ultra progressive type, posing and pretending to be anti-woke for clicks. And this revelation, coming from Harmful Opinions, exposes you so hard, there is just no coming back. It's over. No matter what you do going forward, people are going to know none of it is sincere. None of it is truthful. None of it is transparent. None of it is honest. And those are the things people came to you for from the very beginning. Knowing that none of it is real will affect perception of you so much that even if you do tell the truth, who's gonna believe you? Luckily for us, Smash JT calls him out on his bullshit about constantly spewing that lie about how he's not a YouTuber.
Part of that is, I think that's part of because you often say, I'm not a YouTuber. And I think maybe, tell me if I'm wrong here, but maybe you were thinking that because you say that, people just believe that and run with it so that you can change on a dime and they should just know, hey, he's not a YouTuber, he can do whatever he wants. But the reality hit you that you are a YouTuber.
Like Smash said right there, and this is no more evident than how he would vent in his Discord about how viewership would be down and YouTube isn't pushing him as much, and how he constantly needs to change things to stay relevant. Those are things only a YouTuber would care about. And I'm glad how well Smash put it. Jarrell here doesn't want to consider himself a YouTuber so he can disassociate from that title whenever he so feels like it. But I don't know how to tell you this. When you're uploading daily, when you're constantly active on the platform, you cannot disassociate from your title. You make money on YouTube. Don't lie to us. Hell, I bet YouTube makes more money than any of your games. He's talking like the title of YouTuber is lesser than his prestigious title of game dev, which holds zero value. I don't know why he even says it. He thinks it'll absolve him of all accountability. Like somehow, oh, all the mistakes I'm making is, well, because I'm not a YouTuber. I don't know any better. Bullshit. You knew how to play the algorithm. You took advantage of it. And if given the chance, you would take advantage of it again if YouTube gave you that opportunity.
What's that?
Yeah, well, people can call me. We can all call ourselves whatever we want then.
Indeed, Sungrand, indeed. Just like how you can call yourself a game dev, then I guess you're a game dev. And now comes the worst part. The moment everybody clicked on this video for. Sungrand, when confronted with the many lies he said about friends around him passing away, and how he used that to emotionally manipulate his audience and tell them that he can't criticize Nintendo because my friend just died, proceeds to pretend to cry. And all I gotta say is, this man just made Tommy Wiseau look like an Oscar-worthy candidate because the performance given gave me the biggest secondhand embarrassment in my fucking life. I've never wanted so bad to reach through a screen and, well, let's just say I can't break down in detail what I would physically want to do because it would be considered harassment by YouTube. So I'm not gonna say it. All I gotta tell you is viewer discretion is advised.
Gonna say it? Because I'm sure people are curious to hear what you have to say about it.
Yeah.
Dealing with the passing of friends and the we'll just say often referencing, whether it be cancer or old age or whatever miscellaneous event where the passing of someone, and people will see that and if it's a one-time thing, they might be like, all right, cool, I get it. I understand, we're all human. But there have been videos showing you saying this about multiple different people throughout the years in videos, almost as a way to emotionally manipulate them. What would you say to that?
I'm personally hurt that people would think that. And I don't think I've ever felt personally hurt on YouTube before, but that is something. Oh shit. Sorry. Oh shit.
Oh my dear God.
I discuss these topics because I read the comments and there are people that have to deal with this and they've never dealt with it before. And I discuss it because people told me that when I talk about it, it helped them. It helped them make their way through it. It helped them understand the situation. And the message that I'm trying to get out there is don't be afraid. Try to be strong for the people who are suffering. That has been my message. And I am personally hurt that people say that I'm using that to manipulate, because I create those videos to support other people and to help them, because
fuck off with your crocodile tears. God, if I didn't have a community warning already, I would be unleashing this tongue. You have no idea how bad I want to. Oh, Jarrell here is making a good-ass argument for why bullying should never go away. Can you believe the audacity of this motherfucker? This dude is legitimately in front of thousands of people, making it so blatantly obvious he's trying to force tears out of his eyes. But of course, because he's a total sociopath who doesn't actually care about these friends of his, if they even exist, he can't shed a tear for them. He can't bring out that emotion because it doesn't fucking exist! And it's disgusting! It's the same thing he did with Awada, and people buy into this crap. But this time around they're not, because we've gotten time to know Jarrell. And the way Smash JT no-sells it, that poker face he gives, that completely unamused, unaffected, stoic look is exactly how all of us were reacting as well. Well, except for me. I had to walk away from my computer before I destroyed my own property. I cannot stress how much this infuriates me, because Jarrell here has used his friend's passing and terminal illness in order to get sympathy money, promising he would visit his friend who he seems to have forgotten the timeline of, because people actually gave him money so that he could go and visit his dying friend who doesn't even live in the same country he does. He also uses his friend's terminal illness and passing as an excuse to not criticize Nintendo, uses it as an excuse, an explanation for his mental degradation. At this point, there isn't a single thing he wouldn't use his friend's death for. If it meant getting $1 off on his McDonald's order, he'd do it. This right here, this is the type of shit that lands you on Kiwi Farms. What I would give to travel back in time and stop the very first grown-ass man from crying on a YouTube video to garner sympathy, because other people saw that worked and they preyed upon that same tactic. In general, you have shown audiences that there is nothing you aren't willing to lie about if it favors you in the moment. Everything from fabricating a story about how you stopped a stabbing, to how you were kicked out of a cancer patient hospital where you were volunteering because of the woke, to how you fended off a group of coyotes. This man has been everywhere and done everything except be a YouTuber. You know, it was quite an eye-opener for me to skim through Smash JT Live's comment section on his first live reacting of my video on Sungrand Studios, and seeing how the comments were angry because I'm such a mean person and I'm a douche. Understand, now you know why. Hopefully now you can see why I never give people the benefit of the doubt. There are so many frauds on the site. People doubted me. People said I was too mean, too harsh, when the truth is I was holding back. It's even crazier that now they finally see what I'm seeing and they understand. I'm really good at identifying fraudsters, especially when they put their face on camera. It's so easy to detect body language. When people said I was being needlessly personal and offensive, they had no idea what I already knew. So I can't fault them for that. Just understand, the next time you feel I'm being way too harsh on someone. No, it's for good reason. A lot of my initial criticisms of Sungrand were dismissed by Smash, who was still trying to be on good terms with Sungrand. Now he sees it, and I'm glad. And no, I don't hold that against Smash JT, because I understand you have to show humans basic respect if you want to be able to converse with them. But I'm an abrasive asshole. Maybe some don't appreciate that, but after witnessing this man pretend and attempt to cry in front of a camera when confronted with the truth that he keeps using his friend's passing, which we still can't even confirm, as emotional leverage, then I'm starting to bet now you feel like I should have been even harsher. That's human psychology for you. The fact that even after everything I had shown, there were people in Smash's comment section saying, ignoring Sungrand, I still don't trust Fratanga, fuck that guy. Yeah. Look at you now, moron. Don't doubt the stick. I'm a lolcow supplier. I know him when I see him. I'm ahead of the curve. Sometimes. I'm glad that Smash didn't feed him an inch when he tried to attempt to cry. But let me tell you one thing. I never want to see something like that ever again. I don't want to see a grown-ass man pretend to cry to avoid the most valid criticism of his character. Constantly using friends' passings. He's been doing it for years. Countless examples all over his channel. Going as far as to writing a piano piece and playing it on his channel in memory of his friend, but you know, that time event doesn't match up with this current one. And you begin to lose track of who's passing away and which ones are dying from cancer, and then it just starts to dawn on you. Oh shit, this guy is doing it for attention. He's doing it for views. But anyways, to close off this long part 1 to this Sungrand video, I want to draw attention to the most important thing actually said in this video that Sungrand couldn't say on his own channel. That would have actually been the solution to all of his problems. It wouldn't have caused him to be a locale. It wouldn't have caused people to figure out exactly who he was if he would have just said in his original Nintendo video what he's saying here.
Like, for example, the Switch 2 pricing structure, because that was a video that a lot of people were very frustrated with you taking the industry side with. So if that was a lie or if that is true, what is the truth? I think that now people are very confused. So here's your opportunity to try to set the record straight.
Yes. So to set the record straight, I don't like the pricing on the Switch 2. I don't like it at all. It sucks.
And there it is. Why was that so hard? Why couldn't you just say that? Why did you try to invoke Iwata's death and then call your audience childish and immature and treat them like children because they wouldn't accept your defense of Nintendo? None of this would have spiraled out of control had you just said that. It's crazy to think what fanboyism does to the human brain. Look how far it takes them. I've never come across a YouTuber that lies this much other than DSP and Boogie, but that's not good. That means, Jarrell, that you are officially a lolcow. Everything you did was to hopefully get a job at Nintendo and be taken serious by the industry and ditch the audience that was supportive of you, that actually cared to listen to you. You think Nintendo is gonna wanna hear your sob story about your friends passing away? No, only YouTube commenters, subscribers, supporters are willing to hear you out, and you abused that trust, threw it out the window, all for the hope that one day Doug Bowser would call you up, and we're not even at the peak of insanity. If you want to see the rest, you gotta like, you gotta comment, and you gotta share and subscribe. We're not done. And go check out Harmful Opinions video too. This story is far from over. We have just uncovered something that can't be unseen anymore. But it's good. People need to identify these types of characters so that you're not manipulated and you're not tricked. And with that being said, I'll see you in part 2.
Fratanga sucks ass.